The Dreaming City. An awoken stronghold beyond the reach of any outsider. Such was my wish. Granted by Riven, the last Ahamkara, who bargained only with me, until my city was invaded. First by the Taken King, and then the Witch Queen. Riven struck new bargains with them, and with her dying breath she granted a wish that laid a curse upon the Dreaming City. But Savathun is shrewd and clever. In secret, she inscribed her true wish on the wall that governs the terms of Riven's pact with me. A wish to pursue the Witness. Only Riven can open the way. Riven, whose heart was torn out by Guardians. My Techeuns assembled to conjure her spirit now. We shall make Savathun's final wish, and hear Riven's final price.
Hear me, Riven. Savathun's final wish, inscribed in secrecy, has been invoked by the Guardian. Grant it now, and feast upon the difference between desire and reality.
Such a long slumber. Such a rude awakening. Grant the Witch Queen's final wish, you say? I refuse.
Leave us.
Queen Mara, what a joyous reunion.
For what reason do you refuse to grant the wish?
Why would I, O Majesty mine? Lest you forget, I am dead, as are the rest of my kind. The Vanguard made sure of it. I need no reason to refuse your wish, only a reason to grant it. What could you possibly offer to entice my cooperation? It wasn't enough for your champions to slay me, but then you saw to the destruction of all my eggs. Well, not all of them.
Like the one in Savathun's spire.
One of many, hidden within my lair, away from your vengeful eyes. But if you were to secure them on my behalf, then you would also secure your heart's desire.
And ensure that the Ahamkara live to terrorize us once again. Very well, Riven. We have struck a bargain. I knew there would be a cost in bargaining with Riven. I did not intend it to be a cost we kept paying all these years later. But now, the Witch Queen's scrolls have confirmed my greatest fear. The curse on the Dreaming City cannot be undone. I've pored over 1,000 possibilities, but the Corsair souls trapped there remain. I won't give up on them. Even with the curse in place, there must be a way to bring my people home. A task for tomorrow, perhaps. All this pain Riven has inflicted, and still we're beholden to her. There must be alternatives to restoring her clutch. The resurgence of the Ahamkara now, taken or not, could be disastrous. The Reef and the last city went to war to stop them before. For now, above all else, we must pursue the witness. I need an operative to finish this bargain with Riven. Force her to enact the final wish. So while I ponder countermeasures, you do what you do best. Carve a path.
Greetings, O guardian mine. I always knew we could work together. I speak to you now with my true voice. Consider it a sign of trust. The need for deceit has passed. My corporeal death freed me from the Taken curse. My bargain with their king has expired. These Techeuns strain themselves to conjure my essence. They cannot do so forever. Savathun's wish will be the last I grant. Mara has made clear the terms of our agreement. Retrieve my last clutch of uncorrupted eggs, and I will uphold my end of the bargain. Obviously, I cannot gather the eggs myself. Instead, I will guide you to them through the holes of my former lair. And beware, Guardian. You may find it a place most unwelcoming.
There's nothing here.
Deceiver! Where have you taken them?
I did not know of your clutch, Riven. This is not my doing.
When the amusement fades, remember, the terms of our agreement are unyielding.
Petra, gather the Techeuns. If these eggs do exist, we must find them. Quickly.
At once, my queen. The Techeuns were right. We did it.
Riven isn't the last after all.
If only for the moment, you may yet shatter that truth. It pleases me to know that one egg survives. To know, even in death. A promising start, O guardian mine. Or is it merely bait on the hook?
You never saw the dreaming city at its height, Guardian. Perhaps you've grown accustomed to the blights and scorn, but it was peaceful once.
What do guardians care for peace? They want to slay dragons. A timely arrival, Guardian. Another egg from my clutch will soon pass by our reality. You should prepare to claim it. It is a strange turn of events that they were cast into the Ascendant Plane. Strange, but not unintentional, I suspect. Ask yourself, who would benefit from such a situation? Who wields the requisite mastery over the ley lines? Who has a history of sequestering the Ahamkara to keep them hidden? I said before that I do not trust Mara Sov. Tell me, do you? She offers you praise and gifts, bequeaths to you a share of her power. Is she so different from an Ahamkara? From me? Do you truly believe she wishes for nothing in return? Know this, Guardian. I have been forthright about what I stand to gain from our arrangement. A future from my otherwise extinct kind. Mara, on the other hand, what does she stand to gain?
Another egg secured. Well done, Guardian.
The Taken aren't the only creatures attempting to thwart us. Riven seeks to entangle us in another loop, to keep us chasing down her clutch while the Witness runs rampant.
If this is a game, it suits your purposes. Sealing the eggs away, buying time for your broken warlock to cheat me. You have my terms. See this through, or make peace with your fate.
So this is what? The third bargain we've struck with a compulsive liar?
Having your back to the wall is never a good feeling.
It's so much worse. Being back in the Dreaming City.
Now that you remember?
I know every inch of it. The gardens, the palace. How it used to be. Before Riven's curse.
Oh. Crow.
If it wasn't for me, the curse would never have happened.
Riven used you. Used us. Our grief, our desperation. I wanted vengeance more than anything. The truth is, if I thought hiding from my guilt would help anyone, I'd be on the far side of the system.
You don't think we're just making the same mistake?
Uldren used to say, if you don't like the odds, don't sit at the table. Trusting Riven is a risk. But without her, we have no way of pursuing the Witness. I'd rather risk failing than wait here for the final shape.
Right there with you.
Guardian, we are coming to the final moments. These choices, these risks, they mean everything. Mara requests that I provide some small measure of insurance should Riven prove too perilous a gamble. I've learned the Veil is linked to the Traveler, that this link was not created. It is a primal truth of their existence, a pairing. The Witness accessed this link through your ghost. The motions of what it did are written in the Veil's own memory. But like an incantation, without the ritual, the understanding, the words, so to speak, the motions, are useless. My attempts to recreate what the Witness did, to follow it, have been inadequate. And dangerous. I must temper my ambitions. The Veil is the power of consciousness, made manifest in our physical world. It whispers an electromagnetic language that resonates with our minds. One that can be deciphered, but not by the laws we willed in this universe. It's no easy task. If there is another way to follow the Witness, I'll find it here on Neptune. It will take time, as all things do. Continue to aid Mara, and I will uncover what knowledge I can.
Another egg safely retrieved. I may have to make good on my word. Though from what the Techyons whisper, the rest will prove more elusive. Mara may have to take drastic measures to catch them. All reward requires risk. Mara knows this truth better than most. That is what first enticed me to stay with the Sov siblings. Their penchant for adventure. Their unquenchable ambition. Each of them deliciously reckless in their own way. Your crow hides it well, but I can still smell Aldrin's daring nature on him. Imagine what he could accomplish if only he'd embrace it. Ah, but you charge headlong into danger without a second thought. All for the promise of power. I knew from the first moment I set eyes on a Lightbearer that your kind would change everything for the Ahamkara. And oh, how right I was.
Guardian, we are coming to the final moments. These choices, these risks, they mean everything. Mara requests that I provide some small measure of insurance should Riven prove too perilous a gamble. I've learned the Veil is linked to the Traveler, that this link was not created. It is a primal truth of their existence, a pairing. The Witness accessed this link through your ghost. The motions of what it did are written in the Veil's own memory. But like an incantation, without the ritual, the understanding, the words, so to speak, the motions, are useless. My attempts to recreate what the Witness did, to follow it, have been inadequate. And dangerous. I must temper my ambitions. The Veil is the power of consciousness, made manifest in our physical world. It whispers an electromagnetic language that resonates with our minds. One that can be deciphered, but not by the laws we willed in this universe. It's no easy task. If there is another way to follow the Witness, I'll find it here, on Neptune. It will take time, as all things do. Continue to aid Mara, and I will uncover what knowledge I can.
Queen Mara, I hail you now out of necessity of the heart. Else I feel as though I will burst into solar flame. Long have I admired you from afar, ever since you graced me with your power and benevolence in the Wreath Wars. Not a day goes by without me thinking back to the time you bade me repay that debt to you. How we spent hours together, long into the night. Would that you spirit me to your side again, to serve as your consort, your knight, your humble vassal, anything to be near you. I beg you to grant me an audience once more. Please give me the gift and the privilege of basking in your favor. For without you, I shall wither and crumble into dust, to be scattered across the cosmic winds.
This again? You and I both know he sounds nothing like that, Riven.
Perhaps I should use a voice with which you are even more intimately familiar. How about...
Do not speak her name.
As you wish, O Majesty mine. You've returned. Would that the Queen's witches had your punctuality, O Warden mine. The Techyans have started work on the Lodestone, but they can't finish it without help. I would love to find amusement in their inadequacy, make a meal of it. However, the task of helping those who can't help themselves has fallen on your shoulders again. Something of the Ahamkara in you, perhaps? The Lodestone must be attuned to the confluence, like teaching a compass where north lies. I've simplified, of course, for your sake. The calibration will take some time. Should I pray for you to make it out alive? I understand the Queen's reluctance, but you've done the Witness's bidding before. Why not again?
Kill my friends to bring on the final shape? No thanks.
A wish to end suffering. You made such a wish once, and brought about so much death.
You know that wasn't what I wanted.
You should have been more careful with your words.
Enough! It's done! The Queen is waiting.
I heard you over the comm channels. I am sorry that we are forced to entreat with Riven. She and I have our own histories to navigate, but what she did to you, how she wormed her way into your mind, that was inexcusable. It pains me to put you through this.
Even after all that's happened, you still think I need to be protected.
No, that is not.
It's all right, Mara. I understand. We've always shared a connection. Even when you were lost in the Ascendant Plane, I could still feel your presence. Your heartbeat. I knew you weren't truly gone. Riven was only able to manipulate me because of how strong our connection was. Is. I've made choices I'm not proud of. But I'll never apologize for the reason I made them. It's the same reason you reach out even now, when you see me struggling. You're my sister. Nothing can break that bond. Not death, not Riven, not even the light.
Like Ager and Rhaega, finding each other in the storm.
Yeah, well... all that we've been through. That's no fable. We stood together as the world collapsed around us.
And we'll stand together again.
Guardian, I'm afraid progress is slow. The Veil is a clever tangle in and of itself. It reforms as the consciousnesses connected to it ebb and flow. They rush in, awash with dreams and wonder, and then drain away. I believed that once I understood the Veil, mechanically, once I understood Strand, that I would see its patterns with new clarity. That has not happened. This is not like charting a course through the currents of a sea or the depths of space. It is an architecture defined by how we intend to imagine it. Not dissimilar to the Ascended Plane, if more like its opposite. The Ascended Plane mirrors aspects of our world, aspects of will and import, to those who traverse it. Those aspects are decided upon through our actions. The Veil, conversely, weaves not with our will, not our decisions, but with intent. unfiltered by logic. What we feel, not what we decide. Mapping such a thing would be like rebuilding a creature from the calcified remains we found aboard the pyramid ships. They are an image of a dissection, a deadened echo of existence. But to look at them as they are, to see their disparate parts, even understanding their anatomy does not give us the knowledge to make them as they were. I will continue to seek the path the Witness forged into the Traveler. But I am no longer confident that it could ever be walked again. Riven may be our only option.
So many wish to be closer with their family. The absent and the estranged cause rifts in a person's psyche. I hear them even now. Let me speak to my father again, one last time. Let my daughter see me for who I am. One of the stranger human impulses, don't you find? Above all, Ahamkara want to feed, to drink deep of the gulf between desire and reality. Other Ahamkara are competitors for limited resources, not allies. The only exception is a mate. Sometimes we reach beyond ourselves. Perhaps if we stood by one another more, we'd have survived the great hunt. If we were a little more human. But that bargain is not within our natures to make. You return again, Guardian. And so does another egg from my clutch. It seems Mara's Harbinger has succeeded in pulling it close enough for you to catch. How convenient. Though it would have been far more convenient for them not to have been scattered at all. I have never taken Mara at her word. But she is not a fool. Had she been the one to set my eggs adrift, then she would have devised an easier way to retrieve them. One that requires less risk. But if Mara was not the one responsible, then who was? And what did they stand to gain from it? Manipulating the ley lines like this reeks of paracausal magic. An Ahamkara's doing. Someone wished for this. And when I find out who it was, then I will feast.
Poachers strip my dead! They wrap hungry jaws around my young!
Maybe we'd have gotten here sooner if you'd stopped playing games with us.
I'm long finished playing with you, fallen prince.
Enough. There is nowhere they can run that the Guardian cannot deliver your retribution.
Wish it true.
Ask me to rewrite this failure, and I will make it so!
You really can't help yourself.
We have a lead. In the darkness connection we detected in the oracles. Start there, find the trail. Your egg isn't lost yet.
Hey, Guardian. The Vex may have snuck in ahead of us, but we're not out of the race yet. Osiris thinks that a Vex mind must have figured out how to simulate the Techeuns. So long as they have access to those algorithms, the Vex can track the eggs, same as we can. So, we'll just have to steal them back. I managed to pick up the trail. Looks like the Soul Divisive tucked the egg away in the Black Garden. Lucky for us, that's familiar territory. I remember how to get in. All we need is the head of a Vex Gate Lord. Kidding. Turns out Riven had her own path into the garden. You'll have to get in there and put that Vex mind out of commission. I'll be on comms, keeping an eye on the tracking signal. And watching your back, of course. The voices are asking to use me as a vessel.
That's Taranis.
Who?
Let him speak. Please.
I'll try anything twice. Let's hear you, whoever you are.
Riven, how I've missed you.
Taranis, what have you done?
I've made my last wish.
Your wish, you utter fool.
It's been fulfilled. Thanks to you and the Wishkeeper. I can rest.
If there were anything left of you, I'd flay it from your bones.
It was good to dance with you, oh beloved mine. One last time.
Who was he, Riven?
Taranis was my mate. I was not always a prisoner in the Dreaming City. The Ahamkara were once free to roam its halls. That's where I met Taranis. And Taranis, unlike others, unlike me, cherished those who wished to him. Those who bargained with him were safe. It must have cost him. I found his restraint intriguing. And my art, my dreaming halls, my dance with the Queen moved Taranis in turn. Together, we became the ebb and flow of the tide. Through him, I glimpsed a world without the tireless cycle of bargaining and feeding, of peace. Taranis invited me to his lair, a place where we couldn't be found, in the ontology of the Black Garden. My joy of turning desire to woe faded for one rapturous moment. We made successes together. We built secrets together. And then came your great hunt of the Ahamkara. The Queen took my freedom under guise of protection. Taranis and I were forever separated. But we could still whisper to one another in the space between. At least until a king arrived and made a bargain I could not refuse. I became both dragon. I spoke with his voice, and Taranis knew it. So he did the one thing our kind must never do. Grant his own wish at the cost of his existence. A wish to keep the eggs out of harm's reach until someone could protect them. Someone like you. His wish keeper. Taranis was always a sentimental fool. His last wish has caused us no small amount of trouble. All wishes come at a cost, even those we Ahamkara grant ourselves. Especially those we grant ourselves. My kind feeds on the difference between what is desired and what comes to pass. That is why we grant wishes the way we do. In granting our own wish, we eliminate that difference. We smother the flame, and our voices fall silent. Our existence ends. Ahamkara are selfish creatures, not prone to such acts of sacrifice. But Taranis, he was different. His sacrifice might save us all. You destroyed the Vex mine simulating the Techion's work. The Vex will not reach the eggs first again. But they still hold my lair. Put Taranis' gift to good use, O guardian mine. It is your turn to grant a last wish.
Osiris, are you on this channel?
I am. Quite frequently these days. How may I assist the Queen's wrath?
A personal matter. I was hoping you could tell me about your experience with Strand, how it's affected you.
Strictly research, but it is fascinating.
We know you've learned to wield it.
Who told you this? Mara. The rumors are true, though I am still only a figment of my former self.
That's understandable. But your worth was never seated in the light. It's in your mind.
I imagine I'm not unlike one of your Techians, then. If I'm not mistaken, the Queen mentioned you trained as one yourself.
A long time ago, without much success. Though my sister, Pinar, excelled in her training. She was the pride of Amethyst. I was not. But, even with that power, she couldn't stop the House of Wolves from razing our home. I joined the Corsairs shortly after, to hunt the wolves down.
Loss has a way of shaping us all.
And clouding us. I thought the decisions I was making were the ones required of me. A kind of honor-bound reaction to pressure. I burned bridges across the reef on my hunt. Without Mara, I'd be an outcast. Now, seeing the new Coven, having their respect, their trust, I can do more than just react. Maybe I can tap into that training for something progressive, as something other than a Techian, for the benefit of our people.
I've learned that failure is not a lacking within us. It is a sign that we were not ready to face the challenge we chose at the time. We must fall to start again, Petra. But as long as we persist, hope remains. Potential remains. Perhaps you're ready now.
I can see why Mara values your perspective. Thank you, Osiris.
A knight bearing Xivu Arath's mark. She must still hold sway over the Taken.
But not all of them. Whatever the Guardians did to her, her power must be waning.
My egg. What has become of my wing?
It's polluted by the Taken's corruption, but intact.
You recover one of my brood only to let another suffer for your cause! And for this, you demand gratitude!
Contain yourself. We have the egg. Petra, Guardian, return with it, and I will see if its corruption can be reversed.
I have no love for Riven, and no complete trust of an Ahamkara's predatory nature. But we need that final wish fulfilled. A bargain with Riven cannot be altered, perhaps not even by her. And we owe her all of the clutch. Guardians have freed Techians from Taken influence before. The effort and circumstances were extraordinary, but perhaps it can be done again. In our war with the Taken in the Dreaming Halls, we found that Taken ontology, when faced with itself, feeds on itself. Following that principle, you should be able to find a coalescence of Taken essentia in the Ascendant Realm. Theoretically, we could use it to cleanse the egg. That's all the strategy I can offer you, I'm afraid. Your tenacity in this is appreciated. And appropriate. If we fail here, Riven loses an egg. But we lose our path to the Witness. And all roads thereafter.
I have ascertained the path the Witness took, but the Veil alone cannot safely reconstruct it.
What stops you?
Instability. The Veil traces the shape of our consciousness, but that shifts as fluidly as our thoughts do. It is as though we alter the path by observing it. None would survive the crossing.
I can grant passage. Savathun's wish can weave the ley lines into the veil, entangle them for a moment. But you will not send an army on the wings of a wish. Only one.
One? Explain this deception.
You've done me a great many services, O Warden's Mind. I'll grant you the ultimate Ahamkara courtesy. The complete truth. Savathun's wish grants one singular passage. No more.
You knew from the beginning. You sought to twist our aspirations, as your kind always does.
How many of my clutch would you have saved had you been privy to the limitations of our arrangement?
Play your part, lest I shape you into a trinket of caged hunger to be forgotten in the Guardian's vault.
I am your helpless prisoner. What other part would you wish I play? I cannot change Savathun's intent.
Then what use are you to me?
Mara! One! Maybe all we need.
I am being transparent. Kind, even. It could always be worse. As you know.
This is our only way to pursue the Witness.
One to send.
Curious. This simplifies things. What if... Yes. Guardian, excuse me, I believe I'm onto something.
Could that have worked? Could the Scorn have brought a wish to fruition like that?
No. At least, I do not believe it is possible. Though I wasn't willing to see them try.
This egg is not the first to find itself in your court. Did you intend to breed the Ahamkara again?
I intended to maintain a suitable suite of options from which to choose. Nothing more. Those plans were made so long ago, Osiris, and the eggs corrupted beyond healing. Things are different now. Whether the Ahamkara live on is not mine to choose.
To relinquish control is almost as frightening as trust or hope. Sometimes, that is all we have.
And in that trust, our pact concludes. I will make your wish.
Riven's last clutch. Plucked from the void and saved from extinction. Maybe that bodes well for the rest of us. Either way, we held up our end of the bargain. Now it's Riven's turn. Hey... I need to tell you something while I have the chance. That first moment when I woke up in the Dreaming City, I was so lost, confused. I didn't know where to go, who to trust. Everyone hated me for something I couldn't even remember. But you helped me find my footing. And when my memories came back and everything made less sense than ever, you were there to see me through. You gave me the chance to walk through the Dreaming City with my head held high and the courage to follow a new path. Thank you, Guardian, for everything. See you, Starside.
So the generation of Ahamkara turns over. One last death to feed new life. What will it feed within you? This one you shall cherish, O guardian mine.
You're sure about this?
I am. It has to be me. We'll find each other again.
Always.
I kept my promise, as you did yours. Isn't that a pleasant surprise?
For that, at least, you have my thanks.
And you have mine for always providing such a unique challenge. To impose your desires upon reality so artfully. You could teach my children a great deal. Until we meet again, Mara.
Is he?
He is on his way. It's no small feat, the things you've helped accomplish today. Thanks to you, and guardians like you, Crow has grown. Walked his own path. In aiding Riven's clutch, you've averted the annihilation of an entire species. Provided a chance for her children to choose their own paths. We'll be there to guide them, should they require it. Riven was never truly an ally. But common cause aligned us in a way I had not anticipated. Relying on her was a risk, true. But there was a time when the Vanguard was averse to trusting me as well. Trust is dangerous, risky, vulnerable. But to trust is to hope. And what is life without it? It separates us from the Witness, a creature that is the death of those things, of all things. I've peered into its eclectic souls and found only nihilism. Even now, the soul divisive burns through the dreaming city and the confluence. You've granted the wish, carved a path, but battles remain before you. Expunge the Vex from the dreaming halls while Osiris prepares the veil to forge a bridge to my brother. This will allow you to lead a strike force into the Traveler's pale heart and rendezvous with Crow. From there, it will be the fight of your lives. Steel yourself. You fight for all of us.
Something stands in our way, Guardian. An anomaly. Casting a shadow in superposition across the veil, resonating with it. Whatever it is, it's drawing away the Traveler's connection. Co-opting the veil's place in their entanglement as if it were a doppelganger. I've isolated the anomaly signal. It's a familiar one, emanating directly from the Black Garden. The Soul Divisive must be enacting one final effort to hold our advance. This is why I called you. I needed to know this would be dealt with, and quickly. If left unaddressed, we will be unable to follow Crow. He will be stranded. I don't think I could hold Mara back from expressing her anger if that were to occur. Breach the garden and dispel whatever interference the Vex have erected there.
You died. So did you. Yeah, I don't have to call you Prince anymore, do I?
You've cleared the table, and the die is cast. This final shape the Witness seeks. Asa warned us how the Witness consumed its entire species to reshape itself. And still, it was unfulfilled. Its salvation is a prison. We see it in the calcified creatures within the ever-dark halls of each pyramid. Alive, but not living. What shape will the Witness render the universe in service to? And what of those within it? To change that which is. Never forces it to match what you envision it could be, because chaos cannot be contained. This will work. I've spent a year of study, counting each day, felt time's weight, but I've spent it well. As sure as I've ever been of anything. We will hold back the collapse, rebuke it once more, and forever. Because chaos cannot be contained. The time nears, Guardian. Riven's part is done. Queen Mara felt Crow's passage, and he has arrived. I've woven the Veil's resonance into their connection, as the Witness did with your ghost. Soon Mara will open the way, and we follow Crow into whatever lies beyond. Prepare yourself. Soon, you will be called to arms. We have reached the end. Everything is at stake. Even us. I cannot help but think, have I prepared them for what is to come?
Always in your own head, Osiris. You have done more than enough. Now you worry for them too. Think of it instead as our time. We talked of the future we would have when the city was safe.
We must not mistake calm for safety.
Yes, yes. For now, the city still needs us. So, who will stay behind and protect it? Who will be its leader when Ikora and Zavala are away?
You would have us take up command again? After everything?
We are not the people we were. We are new. We are better. I know. And I know that it is painful to see them go. But when they return, you will be proud. And so will I. Then we will have our time together. No more just for others.
We can finally see the stars for ourselves. Yes. I love you, Saint. We will have our time.